shamans. We understand cause we tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Shamans.
Tech Shamans.
Tech Shamans, we're back.
We're back.
Well, it's been a while, and actually we have some very, I don't know, sad news, but we're taking a vacation.
Taking a vacation.
We're going to be gone for the month of June. It'll be reruns. I'm truly sorry, but there's things that are.
You can't be sorry for our reruns.
Our reruns are awesome.
Yes.
I mean, they get to listen to us ramble on like two bunch of old farts that's forgotten half everything.
And you know what? If you didn't buy that tech during that time, you get to revisit it, relearn about it, and go ahead and.
That's right. There's a lot of great shows back there.
And you know what? Not only that, a lot of the stuff probably went on sale. So now's the time to buy that tech.
Yeah. If you're going to buy it, you better buy it now because I'm telling you right now, stuff is becoming.
Yes.
Holy cow.
And hard to get.
Yeah. We tried to find RAM for our main editor, and it was like. And it was 5 times what it was worth. It was dumb.
No, you know, when video cards, for instance, for custom systems cost as much as what a custom system used to cost to build, then, you know, that's getting pretty bad.
It's cheaper to run out and buy a pre-built crappy system that's got a good video card in it.
Yeah.
And then just maybe the RAM, I don't know about that, but get rid of it, you know?
It is. I mean, the video cards are not quite what you would get in retail.
Right.
But I will tell you that if you go out and buy a pre-built, you will save at least, I would say, a good $500 to almost $1,000.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
You know, if you get a year out of it, you get a year out of it. Hopefully, by then, video card prices and tech prices come down on a few things. And
so it's kind of funny. I'm supposed to be the video shaman, and in the video world, it's really nothing has changed in the last 2 years because, well, they can't get the parts to make things change better. So I've been trying to keep up with you a little bit in the gaming, and we've lost we lost Anthony. He is no longer going to be with us. He's moved on, which we wish him well.
Yes.
So I'm looking for another shaman for the marketing seat. That wants to be if you think you're a marketing shaman, come see me. But so anyway, we've kind of gone and we're starting to, I guess today's like a lot of computer stuff.
Yeah.
So it's heavy on your world, right? And I actually looked at this before, and then all of a sudden you put it in there, which was kind of interesting. And normally we don't talk about there's a dollar. There's a dollar. Got you a dollar.
Sorry, just getting ready to share out that stream.
Stream. But yeah, so we're so normally we don't talk about individual products like we all love Mac and we love Apple and we love I'm an MSI guy. My buddy turned me onto those a long time ago, and for a personal laptop like I have, this thing right here is a little monster. So anyway, so you put this in there first. So Corsair's first ever gaming laptop has a touch bar. And what's kind of cool, it's like the custom S key shortcut buttons.
Yeah.
So it's like all you guys that we have Elgato's here, and what they do is they're little buttons, a little button console that you can choose to like get different shots or to cue a video roll
or change any kind of they're like programmable shortcuts.
Right. So I think this is fabulous, personally. I'm not a huge fan of Corsair, but hey, look, they're in the AMD world. Yeah. I know you're not afraid of the AMD world, Adam. I am afraid of the AMD world. So
when it comes to laptops, AMD is really not all that. Their low-powered selection is not what it's cracked up to be.
But if you start putting this in other laptops, I mean, I guess it really wouldn't matter whether it's a an HP, an MSI, an Alienware, or any of that. This is something that can be kind of put into anybody's laptop, right? Is what I'm thinking. But what a great for streamers.
Yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, and it gives Corsair another market to get into because they have been heavy in the desktop market.
Right.
Their keyboards, their headsets, computer cases, RAM. I mean, every component they pretty much make. I mean, except for your motherboard and your CPU,
right,
and a video card. I mean, of those three items, hard drive. But of those three items, you can 3 or 4 items you can get. You're building the rest of it. You're building it with Corsair products.
Yep.
If you want to,
you can.
And I haven't had any issues with their, products per se. So I mean, it's a good low end budget system.
And it touts it has it's a low profile mechanical keyboard, which we all love mechanical with like that.
Yeah.
That feel is really nice, and it's got a 1080 FHD webcam.
And it supports up to 64 gigs of RAM.
So yeah, but see they start laptops typically do not. They say they're high def, but they're not really high def.
No.
They're up-res SDs, and but it says a FHD, which I'm hoping stands for full high def, but I got a feeling it's really not. It's probably an upscaled, which is just sad. But anyway, that's why I tell every client I have out there that streams with us, I'm like, okay, here's what you don't do. Here's what you don't do. Don't rely on the laptop built-in camera because it typically is not. It's not true high definition. I said, if you're really going to do that, go get yourself a 3.0, or I just saw them the other day, a USB-C webcam.
It's funny. Is
those are monsters.
Now, are they using good lenses and products inside?
Zeiss lenses.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's it's a big deal.
It just really depends on the hardware, though.
It really does. I mean, because you can go out and buy an 8K camera and you can spout all the hot text you got, but if the guts inside your laptop or your PC are not good, are not the best you can get, you're not going to get high quality video.
Well, what I like about the laptop, this laptop with that touch bar feature, you don't have to buy a separate Elgato.
I don't have to go out and get an Elgato, yeah. But it's only 10, right? It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. It's 10. So
but if you're a programmer or anything like that and you use shortcut keys a lot,
yeah,
you could program it, everything like that, video editing.
Because it's not just for gaming. You can actually use those shortcuts to do anything. Launch your PowerPoint, launch your Word, launch blah, 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 blah. Of course, it took... how old, I hate that thing. How old were you when you found this out? I didn't realize that if you put, I love the shortcut bar. I only put down there, I didn't realize if you hit F1, F2, F3, F4, it'll launch that. Yes, I did not know that, but it will. So it's like it's Shift, F, whatever, and it'll actually launch
sometimes
in order.
Sometimes the F keys are what they are, and then in order to use the F1 and F2, you do have to hit function. So
or function or control or whatever.
Reverse it.
Exactly. But I mean, to me, it's if you put an Intel board into this thing, I would be more apt to go out and buy it.
John, they'll do it. They'll do it one day.
Seriously.
Yeah, they'll do it. If this catches on, Corsair will do it.
Well, it won't be just Corsair. It'll wind up being everybody.
They probably did a partnership with AMD on this.
Yeah.
And
that's why.
Yeah, and they're probably getting some discounts on a product line in order to sign a 1 year contract, exclusive contract. So we'll see. You got a name brand with another name brand, and they say, okay, use our stuff, and we'll give you a price break, and Corsair can.
Or just run out and buy an Elgato. Stream Deck. I love the Stream Deck. The Stream Decks are awesome.
Think about it, though, John.
I'm thinking.
The keyboard.
Oh, that hurts.
Corsair makes keyboards.
Well, yes.
The touchpad.
Yep.
Pretty much everything on the outside, the case and everything.
Right.
Corsair probably just went to their vendors and said, hey, I need you to, or manufacturer, and just said, hey, here's a product that I want to make. We designed it. They probably have. They probably got a good margin on it.
And if you look at the So they partnered up.
They partnered with
so
Elgato,
the
too.
voice behind the curtain said they with Elgato. So what I find kind of interesting is that if you close the lid, you
Yes.
still have the controls there.
Well, you know what? That would make sense, because then if you decided to hook it up to an external monitor
Right.
and use an external keyboard or anything like that, you still have the function of that touch bar
Right.
and no shortcuts. So that makes a lot of sense.
That's not bad.
No.
It's not bad. It's pretty. I like the way it looks.
They didn't give a price point though on it, did
No,
they?
not yet. No, but they need to hurry up, because I'm pretty sure there is somebody out there just jonesing for this. So,
Well, you know what? They probably have an exclusive on the whole design and everything like that. So hopefully that doesn't.
but we're gonna jump over to speaking of AMD.
Yeah. Speaking
so
of their
AMD believes it can build a better cheap laptop with 10 hours of battery.
No, just they did this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They said the same thing, and as a matter of fact, that 7000 series that was in that laptop is something we
Right.
spoke about, I think, last year.
Yep, we did talk about that.
And so now you see it coming into a laptop, but this, I'm sorry, but AMD's laptop processors are when it comes down to building a better cheaper laptop, we're not talking about any kind of laptop that's going to be able to function for your business. So don't even think about going out and buying one of these $399. And you know what? They give a price range of $399 to $699. This is not going to be a
Really?
a powerhouse. This thing is just don't do it. Just don't do it. Yeah, they give you that, they give you a nice possible, battery life. But these things are not going to be very powerful. They're going to be very laggy, and you're not going to be able to do like tasking on these. So if you want to write a Word project and you got, a web browser open, you're going to notice significant lag in this machine. So don't, they may be able to come up with a processor that has better battery life, but your performance is going to take a huge hit on this.
Right. I mean, yeah, because I can't see an editor sitting down and having 10 hours.
No.
I don't see that
No,
ever happening.
And what all they're doing is they're taking the current chips, making them smaller, and then going ahead and adding more power-saving features, which means underclocking them, throttling them, telling them to turn off multiple cores at different times, and when they talk about efficiency, they mean we've turned off. You had 8 cores, but we turned off 6 of them, and you are now a dual core processor, and enjoy.
Well, it's like that old triangle of, you can get, what is it? You go like this, and you can get quality, speed, and price.
Right.
You can't get all 3 of them.
Exactly.
It doesn't work that way. So what are you going to sacrifice to get cheap? You're going to get quality, or you're going to get get speed?
You know what it is now that the onslaught of solid state hard drives, and you've removed that bottleneck from the machine, and now you can lower the specs of the processor even more, and get the same general performance as you would have gotten from a faster processor with a crappy hard drive back in the day.
Right.
And people won't notice. They won't be none the wiser. They won't realize that the processor has the speeds and the power and performance of the processor has really decreased. They've added some more coding for doing extra high definition resolution, and they've integrated the graphics processor into the chip. But
that's like now today, if you go and buy a cheap TV.
Oh yeah.
Right. So you go and buy one of the TCLs, and I'm not saying they're all bad, but you go and buy when you can get a 50-inch TV for $499, which is cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, but it's 4K and it's all this, it's UHD. But go in and look at that.
Yeah.
And what you do is you go find something that's got a lot of black into it, because I have bought I have Vizios, right, that we bought for the house. I mean, they were on sale, and I'm like, okay, well, why not? My one TV was going, and I really needed another one. And it's not a great TV, because you can get in and you see all the banding in the black.
Yeah.
And even my wife, who is not a video person, like, she goes, what's wrong with the TV? It's not, oh, I said, because.
Or when your black looks gray.
Or gray.
Because they can't turn, they don't turn off the lighting in the back all the way. They try to dim it down.
Right.
And it bleeds through, and your black doesn't look, it looks washed out like. And then, or when you get into a darker scene and stuff, and you see the LEDs behind, or the TVs where you see the individual LEDs, because they spaced them so far apart.
Right.
And then you'll see like this black and really light streak come out.
Yeah.
That is the most annoying thing. That's like, come on, people.
Yeah. I watched a movie the other day where we were watching the TV, and they had this person who was dying, and they're sitting against this and blah, blah, blah. And then over in the corner was supposed to be a black, dark corner. Well, it looked like it was almost foggy because the TVs can't handle that depth of resolution.
Right.
And you're like, well, that sucks. And now, the TV that went out was a Philips, right? And the thing weighed like 80 pounds, and it was only a 40-inch, but the blacks were blacks.
Yeah.
The blues were blues, the reds were reds, and when you were trying to do that fade, it wasn't a step banding in there. It was pure. It was a nice vignette. It was a really smooth. But the TV I remember that TV back in the day, costed me almost $1,000. So, and everybody's like, well, it's just Philips. Yeah, well, got to remember Philips.
65
Philips used to be the big boys in this world too. So, Samsung started showing up, and then Vizio or as Sony, and then next thing you know, it's Vizio, which is Sony. Then you got TCLs and TLCs or whatever they are.
I'm getting disappointed in the Samsung line. I mean, I love the TVs.
Samsungs used to be. I mean, we're looking at a studio monitor right here that our blacks are blacks, our grays are grays, our blues are blues. But it's one of the older Samsungs.
But the newer ones, you notice how they're coming up with so many different versions that you can't even figure out what the ties on to this, to that. And then you don't know what you're getting anymore. Right. And then you got 6500, 7000 series, 7200.
Crazy.
And you get to the point where the consumer gets all confused. What is this TV giving me versus this one?
Right.
And you're going by brand thinking you're getting something good, and you take it home and you're like, this is not what I expected.
Not what
I expected.
Well, okay, so while we're on AMD, so AMD is the new Ryzen 7000 CPU is supposedly going to break the 5 gigahertz barrier.
Now this is going to be the 7000 CPU desktop version.
This is not laptop.
This is not laptop. The laptop we spoke about is not going to hit no 5 gigahertz. Okay.
Nope.
Get out of that. This is cool because
it is a little monster. It does look like a little monster. This is the time that makes when I see stuff like this, my brain goes, maybe AMD because I know our software that we use in studio, will they're starting to embrace the AMD Ryzen stuff.
Well, the problem is it's not the chip, but the way the software is written to the processor and the code. And these processors also require their own drivers and stuff, especially AMD. AMD is really known for using wonky drivers to begin with, anyways. But when you're coding for these processors, the developers have to change things up a little bit, and they don't want to have to pay 2 different set of programmers just to get the software right.
Right.
And if they've been developing for one branded chip for so long, it's hard for them to go ahead and just change all that code. Now instead of an incremental update to their product line, it's a whole rewrite.
Oh,
that's expensive.
Yeah, and they're not going to do that. Not right now.
But right now, there's technology out there. Look at my Apple right now. Okay, they have Mac OS programs that were written for x86 chips, now able to run on the M1s.
Right.
Being virtualized.
Yep.
At the blink of an eye, boom. And people don't know that that's what's happening.
Right.
They just think it's work. It works. It works for me. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, they
But-
said that they were, so AMD showed off a 5.5 gigahertz clock speed during a Computex presentation while playing Ghostwire in Tokyo, matching the 5.5 gigahertz turbo of Intel's Core i9
Beautiful.
12009 KS.
Beautiful. This is going to be really interesting. So they're coming out with a whole new chip socket. So
And it's
this is
tiny.
This is interesting. Well, that's because it doesn't have its cover on.
Right.
So,
But
when
still,
they put the
it's
cap
tiny.
on there. You know, everybody's
Oh,
like,
it looks
everybody's
sexy
like,
then.
oh wow, it's such a no.
It's a
And they put a cap on there for branding. Well, it's regular.
Well,
it's a
yeah.
heat spreader. So, but yeah, this is going to be a totally new socket, AM5. It's going to be interesting, and obviously no backwards compatibility.
Right.
There may be, I don't know. I mean, back in the day, you used to be able to use AM2 to AM2 plus
Right.
chips and back and forth. But this is going to be, wow, 2 Zen 4 CPU chiplets.
Chiplets.
And they're set at 5 nanometer and now a new I/O device.
well, look at the people getting ready to use it. ASRock,
Oh, yeah,
Asus,
this is-
BioStar, Gigabyte, MSI.
I love MSI.
I'm an MSI guy, and if MSI is starting to go, hey,
Yeah, this is
then
gonna
that
be
makes
an
you start the
interesting-
motherboards. You're like, okay.
This is going to be an interesting build, and we're going to see when this stuff starts coming out. I want to get my hands on it, and hopefully somebody wants to build up. But
Come on, man, build me a computer.
170 watts of power.
That's a lot.
And that was increased from the originally 142 watts. So I don't know if that's really hitting these numbers or if it's being overclocked to hit these numbers.
So, okay, explain to people at home, some of our non-techie people, what does overclocking mean?
Overclocking is usually just taking like the front side bus, basically giving more power to the CPU, which obviously creates more heat, and then turning up what they call the multipliers, the rate at which the front side bus can operate inside the chip, making it able to do its calculations faster.
Right.
But by doing that, by increasing those speeds,
stressing the machine
You're
out, aren't you?
Yeah, you're stressing out your processor, and you're increasing the heat, and you're also allowing the electronics and transistors and everything that are inside that to run out of range, and you start getting like hiccups. The machine starts, getting a little crazy and a little wonky, and it might be able to do the calculation faster, but not as accurate.
So you're going to wind up A, with hiccups, and then B, your motherboard's not going to last very long.
Yeah, your processor is going to be the first thing to be burned
Yeah.
up, and you're asking for trouble by really overclocking. It's great
okay.
unless you're one of these guys that decided to pipe a whole AC system into their computer case, but
Right.
Still you still have the limitation of the transistors and stuff.
Because once you started messing with the processor and you start getting that hot and burning it up, it's really kind of ruined the whole motherboard, right?
Well, yeah, you can. It depends on what you're doing. Once you start running the voltages out of the ranges that's designed for, and because everything today is so close, the electronics being so small and everything, you have the opportunity for voltage leaks
Right.
across the transistors and across the lines of the pathways.
Right.
And so if you get to that point, you can really screw up a machine and short it out.
Give it to me. I can screw it up. I am good at that. I am like the number one. I'm just saying right now. But yeah.
Yeah,
so-
definitely look into that chipset. It'd be really interesting to see somebody build a system out of it and see where it goes.
Yeah.
I know when AMD first came out with the Ryzen system, I had a 65-year-old lady come in a wheelchair and had me build her system for her. That processor alone cost her $1,200.
Is that the lady that does the Minecraft or something
Yes,
like that?
yes. She was
Minecraft.
no, not Minecraft. She was Sims.
Sims.
She was a Sims. She's in the
Sims user.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
she's the one that wanted. At the time she wanted Windows 8 put back on the machine.
Oh.
And the funny thing is Microsoft software. When we went to go put Windows 8, she bought the whole license and everything in the disk. We went to put Windows 8 in, and it literally said, no. We do not recognize this processor. It's too advanced for us. We're not going to allow you to have Windows updates until we could figure out who built this chip.
Right. That's amazing.
That was the first time I ran into that. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
So let's jump over to Google.
Google.
Predator spyware infected Android devices using 0 days. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Google's threat analyst group, TAG, right, says that the state backed across the actors of 5 0-day vulnerabilities to install Predator spyware developed by commercial surveillance developer Citrox. And they're part of a campaign in August through October, and the attackers used 0 days to exploit targeted Chrome Android OSs to install Predator spyware implants on fully updated devices.
Wow.
So once you're in, you can't get rid of it.
That's wonderful, especially when they say they can inject into Chrome OS.
Right.
You know how many Chromebooks are out there, and in the school system too.
Right. I was gonna say that now you've got all your because there's I know that Apple owns a big share of the phones and tablet market, but Android's right there with it. Well, it's 50-50. Well, almost not. Well, not. I don't know if it's 50-50 right now or not. But if you've got our statesmen, your senators, your generals, all these people are using Android-based phones, and you have spyware in there that once you've updated,
exactly.
What kind of secrets are getting let out?
Exactly.
Right? How many people are being tracked? How many people? So, I'm not to divert from this, but I did hear the other day in I'm a big network. I'm trying to get as much business in for WeBeam TV as I can. And we had this young lady get up and speak about marketing, and she said that now Android and anybody other than Apple is starting to do exactly what Apple did, and then shut down and make it more of a closed system, so people can't be tracked on their phones,
right,
and iPads and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, why would Google do that? Because that doesn't make sense.
Google can't do that because they need internal tracking, and they're going to use some kind of coding to be able to track people.
Right.
But they feel that they have such a huge market share of Google search engine and stuff like that they can do whatever the heck they want.
So in the Androids, even though the Android world is going to change all that, they're going to be able to go back and go, it's great that Android's saying they're going to do this, or Samsung and all this kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean you're not trackable.
Well, you're going to be tracked by Google and Alphabet, and you're just not going to be cross-platform tracked from other software vendors and stuff, which is a big deal. This is a big deal. I remember back in the day when Google first came out with Chrome and started coming out with it, and then Chrome OS, that they used to say, they used to have big bounties. Hey, we'll give you $1 million if you can, hack our software and break it.
Right.
And for the longest time, it was one of the most secure browsers.
Right.
Browsers out there, but now it's gotten to the point where they've added so many different features that they want to be able to track this, they want that, they want this, they want that it's gotten to the point where they've left themselves vulnerable.
Yeah.
And here we go. Not only that, when they looked at where they were able to inject this.
Oh yeah, I'm just reading that too.
They injected it into the secure browser of the S browser for Chrome, which is the secure browser.
Right.
They injected it there, which it's not very secure if they can inject spyware in there.
Correct.
They injected it into Chrome's sandbox mode. Sandbox is made so in case something happens, it doesn't get out in the wild, into your machine. Sandbox, it's contained, it's safe. You're allowed to be, to do some pretty crappy stuff while you're in sandbox, except for the fact that, this stuff can be injected into it. And even then, full 0-day exploit in Android. The full Android chain, it looks like, which means that all updated Android software and everything back is susceptible to this. So throw out those old phones, peeps.
Well, that's why they come out. What did they come out with? I was watching last night on television. It was Android came out with their brand new Ultra. I don't know if it's I don't remember the name, but I'm like, Well, okay. They're trying to compete with the iPhone Pros, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, PDF. Oh, this was interesting. You ready? PDF smuggles Microsoft Word doc to drop Snake keylogger malware. I
Wow.
put this in here thinking you know more about this than I am, but the minute you sit there and go, oh my God, this can come in through our DocX, right? Our Word doc, Excel, and our PDFs through the web.
This is interesting. This
Yeah.
is going to be interesting. So basically, what they're saying is, along with receiving a PDF, they're attaching DocX or XMLS docs code through that PDF. So when it's all packaged up, it looks like just a regular PDF file
Right.
format, which most people will just open because it's supposed to be safe and secure.
Right.
But now they've been able to attach these containers into the PDF and send it.
I don't know if you can show a screenshot of that.
Yeah,
Rob.
show that screenshot.
There's a
where it's gonna say.
screenshot where it comes in and it'll literally tell you that open this file, and it looks like a normal PDF. Like say, it looks like I think they're trying to show something like it looks like an invoice or something like that, and then next thing you know, there's the code underneath. That is like, holy crap.
Yeah, it looks as if like when you go to open an Excel spreadsheet and it
Yep.
says it has a macro or anything like
Yes.
that, and then do you want to run these macros?
Well,
They
you're
say-
going to say yes
right
because
because you can't open it up. And same situation here. This is what they're doing. So they're sending the PDF. You open a PDF, and now it's on top of it opening. It's saying that there's something else that has to open. Do you want to open this file? Of course, you're going to say yes because you want to read that PDF.
Right.
And
But the next image down, Rob, it'll show where it's actual code, which is absolutely crazy.
yeah.
That is, I mean, you and I could probably sit down and figure this out. But if I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's gobbledygook. You know what? I would sit there and go, oh man, it got messed up because when it came in, it got scrambled. It's not scrambled. You just literally opened
Yeah,
up.
you just executed when you hit yes, you executed a code, and this is
And
a code.
now it's going to be in your open XML formats, and it's all through schemas. Oh my God!
Yeah,
You're
and
screwed.
remember, there's stuff like this. They can implement either anything. They can hijack remote software tools in there. They can add crypto lockers. They can it can encrypt your computer.
So most people will sit there and go, I've got software that'll catch that.
No,
You won't catch this.
no, it could because you got to understand software is very limited. First off, because it's going to if you don't update it, number one, the software, and this has not been caught in the wild yet. It's just like any kind of virus, real viruses in the world today.
Yep.
Anything like that. If it hasn't been seen, they don't know that they need to.
This is
to
the
keep it
Omicron
protected.
version. This is monkeypox.
Monkeypox. This is monkeypox.
Monkeypox is coming to get you.
Monkeypox for Adobe PDFs.
Right.
So, if it doesn't know that it's going to look for it, it's not going to do anything. And another thing is, a lot of people, they buy a computer, it comes with antivirus, and usually it's only good for 30 to 90 days.
Right.
And then you got to pay for it and activate it. And I will tell you, 9 out of 10 computers that come into my store, okay, always have an antivirus that has not been securing the computer for the past 1,524 days because it was never activated to begin with.
Oh, God.
All they did was turned it on and kept using the computer. And because of such, that antivirus wasn't working and Windows Defender wasn't working because Windows Defender is deactivated once you have another antivirus installed.
Correct.
So if that antivirus is not working, your Windows Defender is not working. So no, just because you have antivirus does not mean you're going to be protected. If you say yes to something, then now you've just told and your antivirus might pop up and say, hey, this look suspicious. Do you want to continue? Most people say yes, and once that happens,
It's too late.
You have 2 flags. You're out. You're gone. It's going to go ahead and let it run. And,
So not to go down a bunny trail, but who you're 1 and 2 when it comes to antivirus and spamware.
I love, believe it or not, Windows Defender is really good.
Right.
It's now gotten a lot better than it used to.
Okay.
So I personally use Windows Defender, leave it on the machine because it's so lightweight, and for normal users at home, it's a good product.
Okay.
And then, if anything, especially in this day and age, Malwarebytes, the paid version of paid version of Malwarebytes is a really good product. It has the tools in place to monitor before something comes in, and stop adware and malware from getting into the machine right off the bat.
Right.
And also can keep your machine very clean.
I like Avast paid.
Yeah, well, Avast got bought out.
By who?
Go stand in the corner when I tell you. You ready?
McAfee.
You wish.
Oh.
Who buys everybody? Norton.
Oh, God.
Norton bought Avast and decided to keep that product line going the exact way it is.
Right.
But now Norton owns Avast.
I hate Norton.
And Avast was a good product.
Yes.
It came up. It used AVG used to be a good product. AVG's now a pain in the ass.
Right.
But Avast started coming up with too many pop-ups. This is wrong. This is wrong. So if you don't install it right, it would be just a pain in the butt.
Oh no, I would agree with even back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man, that freaking thing caught everything.
Yeah, Avast was a good product. But now that Norton bought it, unfortunately, I have noticed some issues, and it does slow down a machine. So be wary of it.
So now we're going to jump to Google. We're going to jump back over to Google.
Google,
because
Google's got me upset right now. So
Google Chat adds warning banners to protect against phishing attacks.
Oh, jeez. Well, of course. I mean, Google of all things, okay, they sit there and tell you, look, if you don't answer, okay, if I run my Google business page, okay, people, customers and clients can go ahead and message me through that page. Hey, do you do this, 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 and this? And I can answer back behind my phone, and people won't know that it's really a person answering. And remember those emails back in the day? Hi, I have 20 HP laptops that needs, Windows installed and complete wipe. Please tell me how much it's going to cost, and I will have my driver deliver them and send you a money order. I'm getting that on my Google business messages. And you get hit by Google if you don't respond fast enough. If you don't respond, they will lower your ranking.
Right.
And yet, their system cannot tell me that this is spam.
Right.
But now here it is. Now they're starting to add the warning after all this time. But they're only warning against phishing attacks.
So here's something funny. I didn't know Google had chat still.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped using it a long time ago because we were using it with the Google Circle or whatever it was. Yeah, I figured it just all went away.
Yeah, it's just they love making things just come out and disappear. Companies are just annoying.
Make your mind up what you want to be when you grow up.
Stick with a product line and do it and do it well. Stop giving stuff out and taking it away. Back in the day when Google first came out with Google, Google, well, it's Workspace now.
Right.
But it used to be, I forgot what it was called. It's been so long. When they first came out, I was a tester on it.
Okay.
And I was able to test it out, and it was for, you could, tie a domain to it and keep your emails all on a domain through Google, and it was a free service. Then they started realizing they can make money off of it. See, they've turned all of us into testers for them. Then they're like, oh, we can make money. So they started charging for the service. And then they said, well, because you were a tester, you have an account that has 50 users, and you will be free for life. Okay? It was free for life.
For life.
Then they started charging, and we've been free.
Free for life.
Free for life. That's what we were told.
Free for life.
Kept going. And then they come out, they come out and call it Workspace. All they did was rename it, rebrand it. That's all they've done.
So now it's not free for life.
All of a sudden, we get this email saying, oh, yes, your Google legacy system is no longer free. We are going to start charging, and if you don't start paying, we're going to take away your email service and domain settings.
Jesus.
And I'm like, yeah, are you kidding me? But wait, we'll give you a 50% price break for the next year, and we're not going to start charging you until July or August. And, so that's where we're at.
Oh my God.
So these guys are just some of the, they're right up there with Microsoft.
So I've learned, this is a lesson I've learned, is you do not build a platform on a free for life product.
Yeah, right.
Because they're always going to monkey that up.
Oh yeah, they do.
And next thing you know, oh, okay, well, we've changed the name, but since we've changed the name, and you no longer, you can go back and use that old system if you want. Well, as long
They
as
had
stop
so
working.
many people complain about it that they've rolled back and said, okay, never mind, we won't take it away. But if you're a commercial business, we will. But if you're using it for home use, okay, you can click this button. We'll keep your domain running. So that's if you're not using it for business, it's out there if you need it. So
okay, so I put this next one in there, and I was hoping that you had time because this morning we kind of put a show together quickly. Microsoft is testing new Windows 11 desktop search that only works with Edge. So is that the little search bar on the bottom?
Yeah, it looks like what they're going to do is even if you set your default web browser
At Google.
to Google
Or Chrome or
Firefox or whatever you
whatever it is.
decide to do,
Mozilla.
Opera. So if you've set your default browser, Microsoft, when you click that search bar,
Yeah.
that search bar is only going to search within their software on their Edge browser. So you click down there, you search, and when you come up with a result and click it, it's going to automatically, no matter what, open up Edge. That's a little kind of, that's just bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because back in the day, Microsoft got sued for this very thing. They got sued for people only being able to use Internet Explorer on their computers.
Right.
And Internet Explorer not being allowed to be uninstalled from the computer.
Right.
Because they tied it and integrated it
Into the software. Right.
And this is here we are, this is happening again. Edge is like the Internet Explorer.
Right.
So they might give you the opportunity to uninstall it.
Right.
But it's always going to be there because when you do the search and click, it's always going to have to launch with Edge.
Right.
So yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be something that they're probably going to get in trouble with if today's day and age people are concerned with their privacy or concerned with if we buy something, are we allowed to use what we want when we want it? Technically, by the end user agreement, when you open up a computer, you don't even own the software. You don't own.
You're renting it.
Yeah, if Microsoft wants to take it away, they'll take it away.
They can, right?
So
I mean, Apple did this in the very beginning.
yeah,
With Safari, you could only have Safari on your Macs.
right. But that was a platform that when people bought into it, they knew what they were getting into.
Exactly. You knew going into Safari was going to be your only browser.
Right, and a PC, that you can do whatever the heck you want on it. You were the owner of the computer and the software. You did everything. But now,
So with them doing this kind of starts making you go, okay, well then, is Windows becoming a proprietary system where you can only use Microsoft products?
Think of it this way.
When it comes to
It's starting to, because look, in order to install Windows 11, on your computer, you have to have a computer that only supports UEFI boot.
Right.
Okay. You have to have a computer that also supports encryption. You have to have an enclave chip of some sort that can do encrypted services, TPM switch, or chip on her, and you have to have a newer processor, or else Windows can't be installed at all.
Right.
So they're basically saying all these computers that are still fully functional and can still work, they got to be thrown out. You can't use these computers no more. This is all that you are allowed to use. What stops them from eventually saying, okay, look, we're going to give you Windows for free to the PC manufacturers.
Right.
If you set your BIOS or your UEFI BIOS to only accept our operating system to be installed. They've already done this.
Right.
Okay? They've done this with Windows S mode. If a computer has certain specifications on their screen size and the hardware in the machine, Microsoft gives their OEM partners Windows for free.
Right.
You know, just because you see a computer built by HP, don't think they don't have to buy Windows from Microsoft. They still have to buy it. They buy it at an OEM cost.
Right.
But they still have to do certain things. And a lot of times they have to install, you know, certain features and stuff like that and then open it up so, you know, users can accept the end user agreement and things. But when the computer is made in certain specs, Microsoft says, okay, well, we'll give it to you for free because now people are tied into the Microsoft Store.
Right.
They can only install Microsoft-approved store items, which makes them money.
Right.
You can get out of it by signing into your machine with a Microsoft account and turning that feature off, and the secure mode is what they call it. But that also means that you have to tie yourself in with a Microsoft account and the Microsoft stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what starts coming down the pipe. And I say in about a year or so, most computers are going to be tied to only one operating system, and then that's when people are going to start getting really antsy.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you have it, folks. It's coming. It's coming, right? I don't see it. I don't see a way around it. So this next story is, I found this kind of interesting, and actually there was 5 articles on the same story, and they all had their different takes on it. But hacker wars heat up as pro-Russian killnet attacks Italy. Now the reason I chose this one is because it was the same story for Ukraine, Europe. So it was Russia against Ukraine, which are the 2 biggest hacking countries out there, and well, other than China. Mm-hmm. But this one was against Italy. Then it was, you know, there was a U.S. version. There was a complete European version. So this war that's going on in the Ukraine against Ukraine, and then potentially China and taking over Taiwan, right? So you get all of this is going to start bringing up the hacks are going to get worse. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't been touched yet, you probably will be, especially if you have a This is what scares me. So they said what every hacker out there looks for right now is a contact us. Yeah. If they have something where they can form fill, which WeBeam TV is massive. We have all over the place because that's how our guests and clients and shows send us all of our information. I did call. We are on GoDaddy system, and GoDaddy says you're protected. We had to physically move servers because I was on an old Gen 3 system that they're like, John, you should have been off that like 2 years ago.
You should have told me.
I said, well, you should have emailed. Well, it's the top of your banner thing. I said, dude, I get so many ads when I log into my account. Those are ads. Those are ads. To me, that's an ad. It's just
big
waste
pop
of
up
my
in the
time.
middle of the screen should have
Right.
said.
Yeah, you need to get off that server. So anyway, we jumped over to a new gen server, which they said that technically they said that we're pretty damn safe. So which is kind of cool. But if you're on your own servers, like, you know, I don't know anything about Amazon servers, or I don't know anything about the Google servers. I don't know anything about those, but I do know on ours. But your contact forms and your form fill stuff, or it's kind of like now is like, oh shit, it's oh shit time. But you know, the one good thing that's going to come out of all of this, I personally think, is our defense system.
Network defenses, yeah.
You know, our guys are our good hackers versus the bad hackers. Mm-hmm. The technology is, I personally think, is going to ramp completely up.
Oh yeah,
and we're going to get new types of systems that we've never had before.
Yeah, it's starting already. That's one of the reasons why I have a firewall on my website.
Right.
I block off the whole world. The only place I have is North America.
So you literally have gone in there and said these people cannot access.
Yeah. I just block out everybody.
Well, you don't need them, right?
I don't.
That's not the traffic that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's not my, that's not my niche. I'm not worldwide. I'm not going to, target the whole world if I don't need to. And, might as well limit those attacks. If they can't find my website, then it makes my life a lot easier.
Right.
So yeah, definitely make sure that if you have the capability of getting a firewall on your website and you're not, a Shopify or some kind of site that, and your client is the whole world. If you just keep it to the United States or anything like that, or Canada, then why not install a firewall to block off the rest of the world? Yes, there's VPNs that can VPN into the United States and then try to tag your site, but, what's the effort if they don't see your site come up to begin with?
Right.
And they won't know anything about it. Might as well just put that extra layer of protection.
Something to...
Yeah, and it works. It works. My website was hijacked one time, and that's all it took for me to say, okay, this is not going to happen again. And I locked it down. I didn't want to take any chances.
That's crazy. Because, speaking of hacked, right? So Windows 11 and Teams hacked multiple times at the PON 20 PWN 20WN. It's an annual computer hacking event with ethical hackers. And they literally sat around and tried to see who could get hacked. And as the 15th anniversary of the event the first day was a blast, several contestants were able to legally break into Windows 11, Microsoft Teams, and even Apple Safari browser.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of the contestants named Hector Perro, which is P3RO, was the first one who cracked into Microsoft Teams. He was awarded $150,000 for his findings.
And it's funny. By default, when you install Windows Microsoft Office and you have a business account, Teams installs along with it.
Right.
And auto launches, even if you don't want it to, for no reason whatsoever, just to Microsoft does this to try to get you to utilize the software. Let's auto launch it. And every time you turn on your computer, it's going to come up. What if they hijack it? Now what? They hijack your Microsoft account. Yep. And then they have control of
your computer.
Your computer in your office. And
it's crazy.
Yeah,
but like I said, that's what that takes it back to the early one. They are literally working on more ways, because if you get the ethical hackers, that are paid to try to find the fail. I remember I actually had a buddy of mine that was a securities specialist,
right.
And what his job was to go in and see if he could break into your building and break into your system and break in. That was his job. He got paid to do that.
Right.
Dude was all over the world. People would put these systems in like, oh, it's impenetrable, and come to find out it was not. So but yeah, it's kind of really a big thing. It's like, Adam said, if you can put a firewall and stuff, sorry, and those the moth's killing me.
See me.
You need to have that stuff on there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the last thing. So I'm the video tech shaman, right? And it's kind of it. And I'm just scrolling through, and then Rob doesn't have this yet, right? He probably doesn't have Netflix, right? Is working on adding live streaming content.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's bog down their network even more.
Right. Because it's right. I was watching. Now I have good internet. Not great internet, but I have good internet. And two of my TVs have direct connections, right? So you would think, okay, I'm directly to the router. It's just really going to be good.
Yeah.
Netflix is the laggiest right now. Amazon seems to be able to fly pretty good. Paramount, Apple TV, those seem to work okay. Netflix, it seems that they are truly trying to give you 4K content.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if it's the packets they're sending it through, but it is laggy as hell.
They're making some big changes on Netflix right now, and I don't know if you noticed that some of the accounts are being signed out recently.
Yes. Yep.
They're signing out everybody across the board because they're trying to find out who's sharing accounts.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. We've got about 3 minutes. Sharing means that someone else is using your right. So across the country, I get that. I have an account that I use not only in our store but in my RV.
Correct.
And multiple. So they can't charge me for using it in my household.
Exactly.
They can't charge me for using my RV. It's my account, right? Now, if Uncle Bob in Idaho is using it, well, okay, I can
that's
see them.
understandable.
I can see them going, look, you're not in Idaho. We
Right.
get that, right? And we can see that you're, and if because you can go off the IP addresses and then
I think
go,
they should
location
geo
services.
track it to a
Right.
certain within
Right.
30 miles or
So
something.
here's what's going to happen. I'm going to drive out. We're going to go drive
Yeah.
out to Texas in the RV,
Yeah,
and they're going to go. Your count, you have to pay an extra.
You know what? I think what they'll
No.
do is you know what would be smart for them? Build a geo fence around over so many miles for, people that have multiple locations
Mm-hmm.
they're going to go to. And then you come out, you sign in outside of that location, it signs everybody out and just requires you to sign
So
back
yeah,
in.
there's nothing wrong. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Because all my kids have their own Netflix.
Because I'm hearing they're going to try to start move you up a tier without saying anything.
Right.
Or they'll be like, bink, we noticed.
I just
Do it
can't
one
believe
more
they're
time.
trying. I can't believe they're trying to get into live streaming.
Yeah, what are they gonna live stream?
Okay, the concerts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They'll live
That's-
stream if they can get a hold of sporting events, which I don't know
You
how
know
they're
what?
going to do that.
I want them to live stream a movie theater experience.
Oh, there you go. Good luck. Good luck with
They're
that.
gonna be like sitting in the back of the theater.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the only thing that I can see. Unless they're going to start doing talk shows.
Gamers.
I don't think
E3.
The problem is that might be, yeah. Okay, so on-site stuff like that would be fine. Streamers won't do it because Netflix won't pay them. Twitch is their platform.
Yeah.
I don't ever see streamers, gamers, guys going off of the Twitch platform because they can actually make money there, right? Mm-hmm. So, hey, with that being said, we appreciate you guys tuning in today. It's not sticking around for us old guys. And remember, we're going to be
guys.
taking the month of June. Yeah, okay, I'm old guy. He's almost old guy. We're going to be taking the month of June off. And we will see, hopefully, everybody back here in July. If you have any questions or thoughts or, something you want us to talk about, and I am looking for a shaman for our marketing site. So, if you're out there and you think you got what it takes, hit us up at techshamans@webeamtv.com, and we'll sit down and talk with you and go over it. And as long as you can show up and be on the show and know what you're talking about, I've got no problem talking to you. Well, I'm John. This is Adam. We'll see everybody in June. Everybody have a techie week.
See it.
We got the plans 'cause we are the tech shamans. We understand 'cause we are the tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Oh, so yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.